Hey everyone, Shabby here and welcome back to another video showcasing another potential Manchester United manager. Now, I think at this point it's becoming a little bit pointless doing these videos because it looks to me like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get that job. This I think will be our last one for now. There's no more managers that have really been touted around because obviously Solskjaer's got better and better. It's becoming a bit of a dead race now, isn't it really? I mean, if he does well against Liverpool tomorrow, then I think that's going to almost guarantee his spot. But I thought just for a bit of fun, he's not been touted around, but we'll have another go with Gary Neville. Now, I was surprised with Neville's stats, to be honest. His mental attributes are very, very good. His knowledge is pretty good as well. Tactical knowledge down at 8, though, is a little bit worrying. You'd hope for a little bit better from who's going to be the manager, especially for tactical changes during the game. But it might be okay. He's still quite young, so there's space for him to grow, and hopefully he will do. So let's go straight to the end of his tenure at Man United, see how long he lasted, and see what he won. Bloody 2031. 2031. That's right. Gary Neville lasted 13 seasons as Manchester United manager. That is an amazing, amazing amount of time, and he obviously had a pretty decent run to keep the job for that long. As you can see, Man United have been taken over by a Russian consortium, led by Nikolai Arkhangelsky, of course. So that's pretty interesting. Obviously, a lot more money must have come into the club in the process. But let's have a look, and let's first have a look at Gary Neville himself. Pretty easy way to do it this way, is it? Oh, I probably shouldn't look at all this, should I really? But where is Gary Neville? Okay. Managers, that's probably a better way of looking at it. Gary Neville, there we go. So Neville's stats didn't really change that much at all, to be honest with you. His tactical knowledge went up by 1 to a 9 from an 8. But apart from that, he did not really change a lot at all. Some of his coaching attributes got a little bit better, but nothing major. He's not currently in a job, is he? No, but he's 13 years at Manchester United. He must have done pretty well. Right. So first of all, let's look at the Premiership. Now, I'm pretty sure he did all this season, did he? Yeah, the 1st to the 6th. Yeah, so he finished about 5 days ago. So he did all of this season. So actually, let's start from the beginning and come forwards. Right. There you go. Season number 1, he won the Premiership by 6 clear points with Arsenal in 2nd. Chelsea dropped down to 8th. Wow, Man City in 4th. That's pretty good. In season number 2, then we got 2nd position, equal points with Man City, but lost it on goal difference. Pretty gutting. Season 3 dropped down to 4th place. But again, it was pretty tight. Only 2 points separated 4th and 1st, and Arsenal won the league. Pretty interesting. Next season then, 3rd place. Again, very close, only 1 point this time, separating 4th and 1st. Next up, Liverpool hammered everyone actually in this season, winning the league by a clear 7 points. Man United finishing 2nd though. Again, Man United in 2nd, 7 points away this time from Man City. And again, 2nd place, 6 points under City. Won the Premiership, 5 points ahead of City. Again, 2nd in the Premiership, only 4 points from City. Won the Premiership by 1 point over Liverpool. Come 3rd, 5 points away from the winners, Man City. Joint 2nd, really just goal difference. Won the Premiership again in the 29-30 season. And then the final season, they come 3rd. So it's a pretty decent run, actually. Never out of the top 4 once, which is very good. I think I'd be happy with that. If we went 13 years without dropping out the top 4, I'd be very happy, because that means you're always finishing ahead of 2 sort of big names. You've got that top 6 now, haven't you, really, with Arsenal and so forth. That's a pretty decent run. Let's have a look next at transfers. Let's do transfers first. So again, we'll do it the same way. We'll just go all the way back to the beginning and we'll start from scratch, right? I feel like he might go a bit more younger players, he says. They did bring in Nelson Semedo for £63 million, who's now a director of football. So we can't look at his stats. I didn't think about that, did I? And Inaki Williams as well, who's also a director of football. You know who those guys are anyway, don't you, really? Lots of players out on loan. Matayo Darmian went out as well. Being 13 years in the future, how is Chong looking? Pretty good. Pretty damn good, actually, isn't he? 31-year-old, 81 caps, 35 goals for Holland. He looks actually pretty awesome. Callum Gribben, you're another young player. He's supposed to be pretty good. 5.5 million, no England caps, though. Who else is supposed to have a big future at Man United? Andres Pereira, what did you get up to? No caps for Brazil in your entire career. That's a bit disappointing. Angel Gomez, £21.5 million. No caps for England again. The only one is Mason Greenwood. I think he's too young to go on loan. Right. Into the second season, as always, Savic was purchased. Still going as well, Savic. Still at Man United as well. Wow, he's done 413 games, 106 goals. Wow, that's a hell of a career he has had at Man United there. He's really been fantastic for them. Patrick Schick, of course, striker. Because he has such a long career, we're not getting a chance to see any of the players, aren't we? Carlos Soler and Baba Rahman from Chelsea. That's interesting. Again, well, Fellaini this time went up 13.5 million to Genoa. Of course, he's gone now anyway. Rojo went to Stoke. Pereira left to go to New York on a free transfer. Fred went to Newcastle for 19.5. Valencia to Stoke for 1.6. Was about it, but looks like Mason Greenwood went out on loan. Mason Greenwood, 10.7 million. No caps for England. Bit disappointed the older youth players, aren't they? Next season, Paulo Dybala came in for 95 million. Nastasic as well. 12, that's not a bad deal. Mendy, Jonathan Bond from West Brom. So just a backup English goalkeeper looks fit. And Danny Rose came in. Danny Rose is a manager now. He's not actually managed anyone yet though, no. He played at Metz for a season. That's pretty interesting. Players out, Joel Pereira, 3.5 million. 1.7 for Sergio Romero. Axel Twanzebe for 5.25 into the next season. Ben Gibson came in. Okay. Augustin, I've got no idea what that is, to be honest with you. Eder Militao, 37 million. Ndombele, he's a pretty big name at the moment, isn't he? Vinicius Jr., wow. That's a hell of a deal. 320 games, 110 goals. No wonder he did so well. He made some cracking transfers, didn't he, really? Players out, 12 million for Small and 18 for Matic. 4 for Henderson. The youngster went out as well. All that came in this season was Lewis Cook, 47.5 million. They keep doing that. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. So Danny Rose came in, went out to Arsenal for nearly 40 million. Alexis Sanchez went to Hoffenheim. Here's another one that's supposed to be quite good as well. Levant Gundogan. He's actually gone down as Turkish. I believe he's Turkish/Welsh. He looks okay, doesn't he? Phil Jones went out on loan. Ander Herrera went to Wolves. Baba Rahman went back out. He made a profit on him as well, actually. Next season, Bruno Rafael. He was a youngster. Okay. Decent Brazilian youngster. Jorrit Hendricks and Axel Werner all came in. Players out, Carlos Soler went to Arsenal for 27.5 million. The rest were all just loans. Next season, Ousmane Dembele came in. Wow. Again, had a pretty good career. 206 games, 54 goals. Malang Sarr as well, who was pretty big on FIFA last year. He only played 3 games though. Wow, okay. And Victor Cabral, another youngster. Actually went to Liverpool now, okay. Werner went out to Arsenal. Martial went to Lyon for 21 million. Wow, that's disappointing. One thing I've noticed in here though is considering that Arsenal... Greenwood went up for 2.6 million. Even though Arsenal were winning the league a few times in the early 2020s, Man United would send them a lot of players. Right, next up then, Alessandro Graciani. Okay, he was a fake player. 77 caps, 4 goals for Argentina. It's pretty decent. Carlos Balde, who's also a fake player. So we get into the sort of regen stage now. He looks pretty good. 165 games, 19 goals. And we had a Russian lad in as well, who again looked pretty decent. 166 games for the club. Players out was a big clearance season this year. Ben Gibson went back to Middlesbrough for 7.5. Nelson Semedo went to Napoli for 40. Wow. Lingard to Stoke for 22. Nastasic to Shakhtar for 16. Mendy went out to Marseille for 33. Hendricks went to Marseille for 25. Naki Williams went to Chelsea for 17. Made 163 million, but brought in 3 big players. Next up then, we're really into the realms of Artem Popov. We're really into the realms of fake players here, but then again, we're not, are we really? This guy's not a regen. He's real apparently. Looks pretty interesting, got some good stats. He played 94 games for Man United before they sold him on for 20 million less than they brought him for. I'm not quite sure that was the right thing to do. Jose Paulo as well came in. He had a decent run. He didn't score as many goals as I hoped, probably did he. Evan Del Cor, who's now gone to gone to Man City. At the best times at Man United, did he? And Sebastian Mansilla. Still quite young, I suppose. Time to progress. £51 million in again though. Lukaku went to Arsenal again. Bailey went to Monaco. And Gundogan went out to West Ham. Okay. Next season we saw Bertrand Traore, who of course is real. 108 caps for his nation. No idea who this guy is. Another Russian youngster. The Russians seem to be pumping out some really good young players now, don't they? Patrick Lourenco, Brazilian. Goalkeeper. Alex Iwobi. Wow, okay. He's still going. A Marian Algerian player. 28 goals and 58 Algerian caps isn't bad, is it? 19 goals and 62 Man United games. And Lewis Gibson, who's real as well. Players out, well, got 117 million this season. Majority of that was for Chong for 67 million, 16 for Schick, and 11.5 for Sarr, and 22 for Bruno Raphael. Right, next season then, we had a big incoming, £237 million in. First of all, the Spanish centre-back Juan Miguel Gamez Heredia. How the hell you pronounce that? He had a couple of seasons at Man United before going to PSG. Juan Hernandez, who's now gone as well. Christopher Nkunku, who's a real player apparently. Okay. Claudio. Oh, he's got nothing. Ellis Leach, the goalkeeper. I'm a bit worried about the amount of players they brought in, but none of them seem to be that outstanding. This guy's okay. Schultz, then Carlos Lopez from Real Madrid. None of them seem to be actually that good, do they? Players out, David De Gea for 2.7 million, gutted. Of course, he must have literally been retiring, I suppose, wasn't he? What the money's in? So Ndembele went out for 49, 42 for Militao, 14.75 for Traore. That was the main man, wasn't it? There was 28 there for Savino. About it, really. We've got one more season now, have we? Yeah. Okay, so Alex Petrov came in from Newcastle. Another Russian. Tons of bloody Russians knocking around there. Oliver Marie. Now, he's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper. He's got some pretty good stats. Kenk. I'm not even going to try and get into that. Dutch centre-back. He looks pretty good. Thomas Neto. Portuguese. And then Oscar Ormeño, who is a Chilean winger. 17 goals in 51 games. Again, another massive amount of money in there, 226 million. Popov went to Spurs, Hernandez went to Newcastle, Nkunku went to Everton, Jose Paulo for 50 million to Atletico. It was a lot of players. I'm surprised there's so much movement of players in that. When you're getting that much of a turnaround every season, that's not great. And then his final season in charge, Ewan Noel, the French centre-back, came in. 19 games. Then we had Kazuma Igarashi, the Japanese centre-back. 83 caps, 5 goals for Japan at the age of 25 is pretty impressive. And Giancarlo Ceferani, the Italian midfielder as well. Only 8 games that's been brought in January. Players out another 200 million. That Ken Carlo, he went up for 67 million. 131 million for Juan Manuel James Heredia. That's a hell of a transfer. That's stupidly high, isn't it? Right, so what else is there then? We're not going to go through individual schedules, I think that's a bit pointless. So let's go for the individual competitions and see how far we did in each one. I think is probably the best bet. So how do I do this? Right, FA Cup first, let's do that. So FA Cup, we can see there are a couple of wins on there. So it looks like they did win it in both 2029 and 2024. We can go to history, can't we, and do results? Nope. Where are we? Attendances? No. Overview. I'm sure there's a way you can click on past winners. There we go. I knew there was a way of doing it. Right, so a runners-up. Let's start from the beginning, right? 2017-2018, which I believe is when the game... No, the game starts 2008, okay. So it was Man City won and Arsenal came second. Then Brighton won the FA Cup, Arsenal came second. Liverpool won it, Preston came second. Man City, Arsenal again. Chelsea, Spurs. Spurs, Man City. Then Man United won it in 24-25, beating Wolves in the final. Man City beat Chelsea, and then a year after, Arsenal beat Newcastle. Man City beat Leicester. Newcastle beat Arsenal. Man United beat Arsenal. and then Man City beat Man United. So it was an interesting competition, not the most successful one, but winning the FA Cup twice in that period of time is not the worst, I suppose, but you'd hope for more than that, wouldn't you? Let's see if the Carabao Cup is a bit more up our street. Right, 2018-19, so Wolves got it first year, beating Liverpool. Then Man United beat Liverpool the season after to win it. Arsenal beat Chelsea, then Man City beat Man United, then Man United beat Arsenal again. Chelsea beat Arsenal, Man United beat Man City beat Liverpool, Liverpool beat Man City beat Arsenal, Man United beat Liverpool. So effectively won that 4 times, which is pretty good as well. It's not the worst. We want to go to club competitions, UEFA Champions League. Right, so, oh wow, I've just spotted it. Right, past winners. Right, where do we start? So the first 2 years were both won by Atletico Madrid, beating both Manchester clubs 2 years in a row. So we come second in that one. Juventus then won it 2 years in a row, beating Arsenal and Inter. So like, English clubs were runners up 4 out of 5 years. And Atletico Madrid were back. Atletico Madrid have really done bits here, haven't they? 2, 3, 4, 5 Champions League wins in 13 years for Atletico Madrid. That's insane. Atletico Madrid, yeah, beating Juventus. Then Man City finally won the Champions League for the first time in their history, defeating Bayern Munich. Then Atletico Madrid got it back against Spurs. Man City beat Atletico Madrid in the final. Then Man United beat Atletico Madrid in the final the year after. That's a bit of payback for these 2 years. The Manchester clubs getting the dominance back. Then Chelsea beat Liverpool in an all-English final. Atletico Madrid beat Spurs before Man United beat Liverpool in what would have been an incredible match. I mean, Man United versus Liverpool Champions League final, that would have been incredible. And then Man United beat Atletico Madrid. So Gary Neville finished his Man United career with 2 Champions Leagues on the trot, which is very impressive. Which means I suppose we also have to check the World Club competitions. That's not what I want, is it? International Champions Cup? That's not it, is it? I want the World Cup Payoff Confederation. I don't know what I want. It's not there, is it? I don't know, to be honest. I'm a bit confused. That's the pre-season tournament. This is, I think. Okay, I don't know where that is then. So we can find that. If I go to Man United schedule, international champions. No, that's not it. We want the. Where are you? Where are you? I know you're knocking around somewhere, surely. Well, you were 4. Well, it's got to be in here somewhere, isn't it? Unless they've stopped doing the competition, but I don't know. To be honest, I'm getting confused now. Why are we in the Checker Trade Trophy? Checker Trade Trophy South. What is this? What is going on here? Have they changed the rules? I know sometimes the game's clever enough to change rules and that, but has that always been a thing? It looks like it, yeah. No, Carabao Cup. Okay, then the second season we ended up in. No, that wasn't like it as well. 3rd season. No, that was fine. 4th season, yeah, 4th season. All of a sudden, we had the Checker Trade Trophy South Group H. What was all that all about? When did the Checker Trade Trophy turn into this domestic group stage? What the hell was this? Okay. Interesting. Past winners. They've won it. They've won it 4 times. Okay. I've got no idea how, but they beat Peterborough, Burton. What? That's my game bugged out somewhere here, because we seem to be put in this competition that we're far too good for. I don't quite understand that, to be honest. Let's just ignore that. Right. So the I don't know where the International Champions Cup seems to have gone. It's disappeared either way. So I think that's about it. We've looked at everything we can now then. We had Champions League, yeah, FA Cup, domestic. So to be honest, it was a pretty strong run for Gary Neville. I'm very impressed. He won the league on several occasions, won the FA Cup a couple of times, won the Carabao Cup 4 times, won the Champions League twice, 3 times actually, yeah. Maybe 4 times, I can't remember now. I think if this was what real life, I would be very happy. I'd be a very, very happy man if this was real life and we actually did that, because that was a great run. It was 13 years of happiness and success. We never dropped out the top 4. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, I am pretty sure at this point in time Solskjaer is going to get that job, and I'd be very, very surprised if he doesn't, unless things go absolutely tits up for the rest of the season. Like I said, I'm pointing to me recording this right now. Liverpool is the game we have tomorrow. If that goes well for Man United, then I'll be incredibly surprised if Solskjaer's walk away with that job. But anyway, like I said, I think this will probably be the last video in this series now, so I hope you have enjoyed. Of course, if you have, then please do hit a like, and of course subscribe if you want to see some more. And let me know in the comment section down below who you think, after this entire playlist, would make the best manager for Manchester United. Anyway, I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for our next video. That's all I've got to say, haven't I? Yeah, okay. Goodbye. What a terrible ending.